Good morning. Today is the 20th of February 2023. A bit of a sadder one today. I apologize, and I need to give you guys a bit of a warning. I'm going to be discussing the Seth Welch interrogation. They just released it as far as I'm concerned. I've been watching the news. Um, and as far as I know, this was just released recently. And now, interestingly enough, I can't find it again. I saw it last night. It made me so sad. I wanted to refresh myself before I got into it today, and I can't find it, but unfortunately, it's all up in here. Therefore, I'm giving it to you guys straight. Seth Welch is a very disturbed man. Uh, he, how do you put this? And again, this is a dicey subject. It's also not in that sense. It's just a very sad subject. It's about the abuse that a parent can do to a child. And abuse is not the right word. The word is murder. And the murder is he starved his child. Starved his child. Young Mary, she didn't even have much of a life. She died at 10 months old. She weighed at the time of her death. Sorry, this is a bit disturbing, but she weighed barely over 8 pounds. She was born at 7 and some, as far as I know. In other words, in the 10 months that she lived, she gained 1 pound. From what I understand, and I'm not a parent. I'm not a I've never had children. But I can sympathize. Who can't? Children, come on. Me, I live vicariously through my siblings' kids. And now the next generation after that, that's how I get my fulfillment of the next generation and the pros and cons of parenthood is vicarious for me through them. That said, starving your child to death, and unfortunately, this is this happens more often from my read than it should. It could. I'm sorry, but I know that there's a case in Canada about a decade past where this happened. A couple, obviously, in the States. There's even one in England that made the news. A poor soccer kid. I forget his name right now, but oh, how heartbreaking. Watching that kid walking around saying, "No one loves me, someone feed me," calling out to his uncle. I know a little bit about being an uncle, and I've always enjoyed being an uncle, but man, I would have given, oh, the poor kid. Anyways, back to Mary Welch. Um, Her father, Seth, is one of the most despicable persons I've ever encountered through true crime videos. He really is. This is not fat shaming. People are allowed to be whatever weight they want and live within the body that they choose. That said, he weighs, I'm guessing, over 300, close to 300. He's a big boy. He's a very big boy. And he starved his child to death. Think about that. As he is indulging in overeating, he's allowing his child to pass away. He hides behind religion. And again, no shade on any religious people out there. Religion is, I've seen it work in both in an uplifting way and in a not so much of an uplifting way in my personal circles, but also through history and all that kind of stuff. So I do not shade on anyone their religiosity. I really don't. When they take it to the extreme, That's where I have an issue. But mostly, you do you, as I've always said. You do you. Allow me to be me and do me, and everything will be fine. I'm sorry, my shirt is really bugging me today. I'm sorry. Back to Seth. Hiding behind his religiosity is a very grotesque way to explain what happened to his child. God does as God wills. Please. Oh my God. He had to watch this child over the course of this 10 months, and maybe he was just starving her in the past month. I don't know. All I know is you cannot see, and he complained about her being a crybaby. Please. Babies are crybabies, but I know a little bit about health too. As she's wasting away, as she's starving, towards the end, she couldn't cry anymore. She had no tears. She was dehydrated. She was too sickly to move. They kept her in a soiled, again, pardon, they kept her on a soiled mattress. Eventually, I'm sure she couldn't even do that anymore, but they left her there, and this, because there is a duo. Like the mother watched this go down. Did she agree with it? Obviously. Was she not forced, but was she controlled to let this happen? There's only so much control before you are actually allowing it to happen. Like, he's not there all the time. There is a car. You can get out. There is a telephone. There is 911. There are options. But she allowed it to happen. I don't know. All I know is this: they had on the door to the child's room, they took a hammer and bashed a peephole. To what? So they didn't even have to go into the room to watch the child, but just to what? Count down the days of her life? It is an absolutely sad, disturbing, grotesque story. I'm really sorry, and I did not. I had a whole other plot for today's video, and unfortunately, when I stumbled onto this, I just could not get it off my mind. I stumbled onto it before I was getting tired, so I was scrolling through. Let's just watch this, and because I was aware of the story. This is the first time that they posted the interrogation, so I'll watch this. And within 3 minutes, I was awake. I was just, oh my God. Me being me, the fact that he's Sovsit adjacent, he hates the government, he blames the government, child services, doctors. He's got some kind of wild mental gymnastics about how no one is ever really sick. It's just doctors pushing meds and pushing tests and sicko. Please. So yeah, you're an anti-government guy. I get it, but now the child is suffering for your ideology, and that's just not right. It's not just not right. He deserves and got a life sentence, no parole. I really hope that that sticks. Just wanted to finish this up with one last. When I heard this, my mouth just literally dropped, and I was awake after this one because it happened towards the end of the interview. They asked him, if you had a lot of money to be frivolous with it, would you have then taken your child to a doctor? Now he says yes. Wow, really? So all of this taking a stand and the medical industry is all about money and all that. No, you just wanted more money for, hate to say it, food? I'm not sure. He, by the way, has lost a lot of weight in prison. Just saying. So, I'm sorry, this was a little bit more of a lower key. It's just where my mind went today. Wanted to get this out. I did. Now you know what's going on behind the patch this morning. I really hope you have a good rest of the day. I will try.